Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. 1M1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual incubator accelerator in the world with the mission of helping 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue, build $1 trillion of global GDP and 10 million jobs. And the only reason we are here is to support your journeys in building your businesses. That's the only justification for our existence, and that's the only success that we are aspiring to. We cannot be successful without your success. This is our 251st roundtable. Can you believe that? This has been going on for a long time, and we have had over 25,000 people participate in these sessions, and we've had the privilege of working with so many entrepreneurs at this point, and this has given us an incredible perspective and insight into what's happening in the global entrepreneurship scene. So thank you for staying with us, and thank you for using the program regularly. You will have a recording of this event available, and if you are live tweeting the show, please use hashtag 1M1M. Our two Twitter handles are at 1M by 1M and at Romana is my personal one. We publish a lot of really rich, very high quality content through these channels. So please, if you wish to subscribe to a good content channel on Twitter, you're welcome to do that. And also, the counterpoint of that is our 1M1M Roundtable channel on YouTube, which is where you will have the recording of this session available as well after the show. And all prior sessions are recorded and available on the YouTube channel. These are the call-in instructions. However, we are not ready for call-in yet. You can make a note of the call-in number, but we will put the slide up when we are ready for call-in. Today, we are continuing the celebration of the latest Entrepreneur Journeys book called $1 Billion Unicorns. And it's available on Kindle. It's the 12th volume of the Entrepreneur Journeys series, which we started publishing back in the fall of 2008. So it's been a long journey of one after another, so the whole roster now is quite powerful. And in that series of events today, we have Ratmir Timashev. Ratmir is actually in the book, and he has a fabulous, fabulous story, and I wanted to invite him to, chat with us here and share some of the insights and learnings from his journey. Veeam is his second company, if I remember from our prior conversation. He had a successful exit before Veeam, and today, actually, Veeam is almost a $300 million revenue run rate company, but does not have any institutional investor, any external financing. Ratmir and his co-founders have funded the company themselves with about $5 million, but really it has been, beyond that, it has been organically funded. So it's a phenomenal, phenomenal achievement in building a revenue run rate of that scale, and that's what we are going to learn about today in this conversation. Welcome, Ratmir. It's great to have you here.
Oh, thank you for having me, Romana. Good morning or good afternoon. I know where people are from. I'm in Europe today, so to me it's almost evening. Good evening.
People are everywhere. So people are in the U.S., people are in Europe, people are in India, people are God knows where else. We'll find out in the course of the conversation. So, Ratmir, let's kind of kick off the discussion by giving our audience a bit of a flavor of Veeam. What do you do? And I know what you do today is an evolution of what you started with. So if you could just trace us through a little bit of that evolution of what you started with and where you are today, that would be a great starting point.
Yeah, the company was started in 2006 by me and my partner. He's my technology brilliant partner. So I'm more on the sales and marketing, and he creates the brilliant products. So the idea was let's develop different tools to manage VMware infrastructure, VMware virtual machines. So as probably most of you know that VMware invented the modern server virtualization technology in early 2000, and in mid-2000, like 2005, 2006, virtualization kind of started to become more mainstream, and a lot of companies started using VMware virtualization. And our idea was to basically leverage this wide adoption of virtualization and develop different tools for VMware administrators to manage this new infrastructure. And the tools would be for SMB customers or medium enterprise or large enterprise, doesn't matter. All these companies, most of them are using VMware. And also some of them are starting to use Microsoft Hyper-V as a virtualization platform. So our idea was to develop different tools, but we ended up actually with our flagship product. When we released, originally we developed a few different tools like monitoring, configuration management, reporting, analysis. And then in 2008, at February 2008, so that has been exactly 7 years, we released our backup product for VMware, and that product has become extremely successful. So effectively, we decided to focus just on the backup for VMware because backup is the most innovative and the most disruptive technology that could be created using virtualization and modern storage and modern virtualization. So we decided to focus on the backup, and we were absolutely correct. So effectively, backup now generates 95% of our revenue. We still have two management products for historical reasons in our portfolio, but our main flagship product that generates most of our revenue is data protection, and now we call it the market that we have created, we call it availability. So there is an old market which we call legacy market, which we call backup. So again, we're talking about server backup in data center backup and disaster recovery. And the new market that we created is we call it availability. Availability is different from the backup that you need basically these days. Most of your applications and most of your workloads, servers are mission critical. 10 years ago, only 3% were mission critical. So now you need a solution to be able to recover any IT service, any application within minutes and seconds. And the old legacy approach, which traditional backup vendors do, guarantees the recovery only that is measured in hours and days, and this is totally unacceptable these days. So we created kind of a new industry. We call it availability, but yeah, old term would be backup of modern data centers that are being built on VMware or Microsoft virtualization platform.
So I want to go back to that period between 2006 and 2008 when you were kind of figuring out what is the right opportunity to go after. And you said you had a bunch of different virtualization management and administration tools, and eventually in 2008 you realized that virtualization backup was the gap in the market, and that's where really the traction, the customer traction was, and you decided to bet the whole company on that. Now, I'd like to understand a bit about that process and highlight that for our entrepreneurs. And I'll tell you what my thought process there is, the reason I want to double click down on that particular phase. You know, in our research on unicorn companies, the ones that have been able to scale to a very fast growth and very high valuation level, one thing is very clear, is that positioning, the product positioning of finding a gap and then aligning with what we call product market fit, but really a significant customer demand in the market, that almost single-handedly determines where that company is going to go. So in your case, your journey of experimenting with different virtualization management tools led up to this virtualization backup as the answer. Can you talk a bit about what went on in that process and how did you get to that answer?
Yeah, sure. By the way, I just wanted to mention one of my favorite books, Inside the Tornado, Crossing the Chasm. I like many ideas in this book, but one idea I like the most is that at different stages when the company is being built, the company has to do things differently, and sometimes it has to do things in an opposite way. So what works in early stage, you have to do the reverse at later stages. So there is a period when you start the company where you have to experiment, you have to be entrepreneur. So you have to be really entrepreneurial, open-minded. So you have to try, you have to do the pivots, you have to try different things. And I've never seen that first original idea for the business would work. Never seen that in the original form. It's always something at the end product, the end result, the end service is always slightly different or a lot different than the original idea. So in early stages, entrepreneurs, they have to experiment. But once they find this golden opportunity and they can smell this gold, then they have to really focus and forget about and really drive that, really stay focused. So early days, you experiment. You don't need to focus on one thing. You have to try multiple things. But once you get the feeling that you found this market opportunity, this golden market opportunity, then you have to run as fast as possible in a very focused way.
So, folks, Crossing the Chasm by Jeffrey Moore is one of the best positioning books ever written, actually. And if you have not read it and you are trying to do an entrepreneurial business, this is a must-read. And this book has been around. It's not a new book. It's quite an old book, actually.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I would say it's an evergreen set of lessons that will apply forever in product marketing and product positioning. And I think you should for sure take a look at it. Now, the other thing that I'm hearing in what you're describing, Ratmir, is something I've heard other people, other entrepreneurs also discuss, is that you kind of need to immerse yourself in customer problems. So whether it is by doing, services for those customers in a specific domain of your interest, or selling products, a suite of products in your case, Ratmir, you have to kind of achieve customer intimacy somehow so that you can have a ear attached to the customers and hear really, really clearly what is happening, what kinds of issues, what kinds of problems are customers trying to solve. And people who have been able to extract, really serious problems out of, enterprise problems or SMB problems, wherever the customers are, but keeping your ear close to the customers and somehow achieving that through whatever process you go through, whether it is by bringing some products to the market or through services, that's what gives you that window into the customer's world, and that window is vital to open up. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But however, there is an opposite side of this. So I always describe that there is this course in the US called Pragmatic Marketing that teaches you to create an innovative product. Of course, there is no such a course that can teach you to create an innovative product. But that course specifically says that you have to go and listen to the customers. Yeah, I would agree with that. But then there is the second part. Then you have to go into the dark room and apply your common sense, entrepreneurial common sense, to find the elegant solution to that problem, right? Because I haven't seen a single customer who came to Steve Jobs and said, Steve, I need an iPhone. So somehow Steve was able to figure out that he needs to create an iPhone, but none of the customers told him that, Steve, please make me an iPhone, right? So yeah, you have to listen to customers, but then you have to go in a thinking period or in a dark room and think really well with how you are going to solve this customer problem in the most elegant, creative way, and if this problem is really big enough for you to create a new market. So that the problem has to be big for you to create the market. So it's always, I always say that two most difficult things to do in technology business, but in any business, is be at the right place at the right time. That is, create the market or be part of the market that today is small but will be big in the next 5 years. And second is create a brilliant product for that market. So only two things. The rest is easy. Sales, marketing, yeah, you can learn all those, so you can hire the people that know how to do that. But those two things are extremely difficult to do. Find the market and create a brilliant product.
So of those, one is in your hands, kind of, building the brilliant product. So if you have been able to identify what problem you're going to solve, and then how you solve it really is your product marketing genius. How you design the product, what technology you're going to use, how you address, and the iPhone example is great because iPhone, you know, Steve Jobs understood the need. First he understood music very well. He was a passionate music lover, and the iPod was really the beginning of the iPhone. So he understood all that, but the solution that they came out with was their own solution. So in this case, in Veeam's case, you have come up with your own brilliant technology and, you know, product which really addresses the problem, and that's where the entrepreneur's genius kicks in gear, entrepreneur team's genius kicks in gear. The timing one is very tricky. So how do you get timing right?
The timing, actually, there is a misconception or that you have to be the first in the market. I don't think you have to be the first in the market. So you just have to look at the market. So Google wasn't the first in search, right? So, and by the way, we were also not the first doing the software to manage VMware infrastructure or doing the backups for VMware virtual machines. We were not the first. There were a couple of other companies that started, but we saw that they're growing very fast, and we kind of understood that this is the hot area. Visualization will be the foundation of the future computing, and the backup is the kind of the area where visualization can be leveraged the most. And we saw these two companies are doing very well, so we came. We were kind of the third one who came, and we created a better product, and we were much more aggressive in sales and marketing. That's how we won. So the timing was good, but we were not the first to the market. We looked at the market, we knew the market, we understood the market, and we created a very, very good product, brilliant product.
So if I parse what you said, you're saying that you can actually take cues from the market. You can look at the market and see who other people have identified certain opportunities, and you can come in as a, you know, second, third, fourth product in the market and still out-execute your competition. And by the way, this is a storyline that I heard in the context of Tom Siebel when he was doing Siebel Systems. There were actually, I think, like 15 or 20 CRM companies when Siebel was founded. But obviously, Siebel Systems out-executed most of them to become the leader. Eventually, you know, Salesforce.com came into existence and toppled them from that position, and today that's a much more interesting company, and Siebel has been acquired by Oracle. But in its days, in the first wave of CRM, Siebel was not the first company at all. It was one of the 20 companies, and it just simply out-executed everybody else.
Right.
So switching gears a bit, Ratmir, you have chosen to build this company without any outside financing, and you have so far, you know, maintained full control over the company. Can you talk about your thought process on what you're trying to do, why those decisions, etc.?
I'm not advocating to build a company without venture capitalists. It's just because this is our second company. We made all the mistakes and learned how to build a successful software business when we were building our first company. And at the first company, we did have outside investors, Inside Venture Partners, a great VC firm out of New York. So we learned a lot from them, and they taught us a lot. How to build a company, how to build sales, marketing, how to sell the company. They helped us to sell the company and get the great value. And so when we were building the second company, we really didn't need outside advisors, partners. Still, we decided to partner with Inside Venture Partners second time because they're just good strategic partner, and they help us to identify the adjacent markets where we can grow, because we are growing very fast, but we're kind of saturating our market because we're already pretty large size. You mentioned that this year we will be close to $500 million in revenue bookings. So we need to find adjacent markets, and Insight is a great firm that helps us. Again, VC help you with different things. We don't need most of the things these days. We don't need money. We don't need help with sales or marketing. We don't need the validation or credibility. We have all that VC normally bring. But we still need the VC for help us identify the next hot market adjacent to where we can expand.
But you brought Insight in much later in the game, right? You were already doing very serious revenues. What was your revenue threshold before you brought Insight in?
We brought Insight about a year and a half ago. We already were over $200 million in revenue, and it wasn't a classical VC deal. Insight did not put money in the company. It's just me and my partner. We sold a small portion of our shares to Insight so that they will be on our board, and they will be a shareholder and strategic partner. So it's not a classical VC. Again, they did not put money in the company because the company is very profitable and very cash flow positive.
So you just basically took some liquidity for the founders and wanted to bring them in as shareholders so that you can use their network and deal flow to understand the adjacencies of your market to figure out where you go from a product strategy point of view.
Exactly.
And where, when you look at that product strategy, when you look at that ecosystem, how is your ecosystem evolving, and where do you see yourselves going outside, beyond the virtualization backup market?
We see ourselves growing into overall data management. The data is growing exponentially. Gartner says that the data is growing 30–50% annually. So people and businesses need to manage the data. They need not only backup data, but they also need to be able to recover quickly within minutes and seconds. They need to archive data. They need to reduce data. They need to deduplicate data. They need to analyze data. There is a broader market that we operate in, broader than just the backup and recovery. So Gartner estimates that our market, backup and recovery, is around $6 billion, growing approximately 10% annually. And of course, we're growing much faster. We're growing 40%. That means we're taking market share from our competitors. But the bigger market is the data management market, which is estimated at $15 billion by Gartner. So we still see a lot of areas where we can expand just outside of virtualization backup. But again, virtualization is the foundation of the modern data center and the foundation of the cloud computing. And we see a lot of opportunities in developing more products and more services around cloud backup and cloud data management. And we see that this is a great area for us to innovate and create more products and more services that we can sell through our channel.
And are you forecasting, so if you look at your current valuation, have you, the last round of financing, did it already hit the $1 billion mark? Are you already a unicorn? I can imagine with $500 million in bookings now, you're definitely a unicorn level valuation. Was your last round of funding already at unicorn levels?
Yeah, it was close, yes. Yeah, it was close to that. Yeah, and by the way, we have a goal to grow to $1 billion in revenue in 4 years from today. So by the end of 2018, we are planning to be $1 billion in revenue company. So definitely the valuation is probably over $1 billion. I mean, comparable companies, there are a few good companies that are public with comparable financials, such as Splunk and SolarWinds and a couple of others like FireEye. So those are very companies with comparable growth and comparable profitability and revenue, and they are, of course, valued at several $1 billion.
Yeah. And are you planning to, so you're not going to wait till you hit $1 billion in revenues to go public. You would likely go public soon, or are you going to wait?
We don't have plans to go public.
You don't have any plans to go public?
We are not sure. Yeah, we're not sure if we want to go public ever.
Well, so if you have VCs in the deal, how do you not go public? You have to give them an exit.
We have structured the deal in a very creative way because they are my friends, and so basically they do get the liquidity without us selling the company or going public.
Tell us more.
It's a very creative. We just pay them dividends, so they get their money back.
A VC firm is willing to accept a dividend deal? I've never heard this before.
Insight is very creative. Inside venture partners are very creative.
Wow. So this is something to make note of because it's an issue that I've written about quite a lot because our
no,
whole
I agree. It's a big issue.
It is a big issue.
It's a big issue.
It's a very big issue, and our whole industry is obsessed with exits. So
Absolutely.
I've written about several entrepreneurs who don't believe in exits. They don't want to exit. They don't want to deal with the crap that the public market has to, showers on entrepreneurs. Basically, if you're running a public company or on the board of a public company, it's really a nightmare. The amount of regulation, the amount of reporting requirements, and blah blah blah, audits and so forth. It's really a nightmare. So a number of entrepreneurs I have talked to actually have avoided the path of venture capital actually, so that they don't have to go public and they don't have to deal with all that nonsense. However,
that's right.
In most of their cases, and in most of the industry, actually, VCs are not willing to do dividend deals. And you have here structured a dividend deal with inside venture partners. That is a very unique perspective.
Yes, absolutely. Until we structured that deal, I also was thinking exactly like you that none of the VCs will do this kind of deal because they need the exit. And I said, maybe I don't want to sell the company even in 10 years. So I don't want to have the pressure from the VCs. That's why we were not looking for VCs. But Insight was very creative, and Insight has been talking to me because they're good friends of mine for the last 15 years because they were investors in and very successful investors in our previous company. So I thought that it's not possible also, but turns out to be you just have to think out of the box and be creative. And actually, I talked to another VC firm. I don't want to name the name, but it's a top VC firm in Silicon Valley, and they said they would do the same deal as Insight if we would like. So there are VC firms that are willing to be open-minded.
All right, this is a new.
If they really want. If they really want.
This is a very cutting edge, a very new development actually that VCs are starting to think dividends. I think it would be good if investors start thinking dividends more, because one of the earlier conversations here, those of you in the audience, some of you may recall, we had a conversation with Shomit Ghosh from Onset Ventures a few months ago, and we had this discussion that in 2013, 70,000 startups were angel financed, and only 1,000 companies a year get venture capital. So there's this 69,000 companies probably who have not received any follow-on financing, but many of them, and some of them, a lot of them probably are going to die in the vine because they will not be able to validate and so forth, but there will be a pool of companies in there who should be able to grow organically, through customer revenues, just like you have done most of your growth. And for that class of companies, because they already have some amount of angel financing, working out dividend models may be the best way to go for a while, because a lot of these companies turn out to be niche companies. Maybe they'll be $5 million, $10 million, $20 million companies. They're not venture financeable often, but they can be solid businesses, and dividend is a very good way to compensate investors in that model. All right.
Yeah, as long as you can, that's right, as long as you can build a profitable business so that you can pay dividends.
Very good. So thank you, Ratmir. It was definitely a revealing conversation. Thank you for sharing your insights. And I don't know if you have time to stay to mentor the entrepreneurs, but that's where we're going right now. We're going to be starting the mentoring session.
Sounds good. Thank you, Samana. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. We're going to start with Sumit Arora. Sumit, please unmute your line and tell us what you're working on. Sumit, are you on? Sumit is still calling in, it seems. So folks, those of you who are in the room, please use the public chat to introduce yourselves, tell us where you're joining from, who you are, what project are you working on, and so forth. So those of you who missed the name of the book that we discussed with Ratmir, it's Crossing the Chasm by Jeffrey Moore. Maureen has put that in the public chat as well, in case you haven't seen that. We will do 3 entrepreneur pitches next, and then we will open the line for Q&A after that. Sumit, are you all set? Maureen, please make sure the other presenters are dialed in at the right time. Sumit? This is a... Sumit, are you on? Maureen, should we move to another presenter? I don't want to keep everybody waiting. This is...
Hi, Ramana. This is Bragadish here. I can start. I'm the next presenter in line. I can start if you like.
Okay. Let's... are you the second presenter? Is this your...
That's it.
All right. Please go ahead.
That's correct, Ramana. Okay. Okay, thanks so much for this opportunity. I would like to thank you for giving an entrepreneur opportunity such as this. So, Sarala Janardhan is the founder, and she's my wife, and she's an alumnus of AI Center, Stanford Research Institute, Menlo Park. She's been working there for 3 years, and that we returned back to Bangalore in 2011. Ever since, she has been a stay-at-home mom, but an aspiring technologist. Wanted to do something, and we came up with an idea, InkloodeMe, which we are going to be talking about. Next slide, please. InkloodeMe, there's a little bit of wordplay there because InkloodeMe with the correct spelling, we couldn't get the domain, so we are going with the InkloodeMe for now. What it is actually a new paradigm that we are introducing. In the past that we have connected and LinkedIn and liked on Facebook, shared, and even followed on Twitter and all that. I think the new paradigm that we are trying to introduce here is we believe, we strongly believe that it's going to be the next next leap in the social evolution. We have built a website. There's a URL there and also our contact address. What InkloodeMe is all about is a new way to include people, businesses, anything and everything that this actually cares about, or it's their favorite if they want to include there as part of their what it is a mobile-based platform. It's with a vision that creates a tremendous new business model opportunities.
Bragadish, second, somebody is echoing noise into the call. So if you're dialed into the call and also have your computer sound on, you need to put the computer sound on mute so that you don't disrupt the call. And I suspect it's Sumit who's causing the echo. So please put yourself on mute, Sumit. Go ahead, Bragadish.
Sure. You know, the whole concept of this inclusion is going to be something you know, new that we're introducing. I just want to pause a minute here and explain a bit more in detail. The inclusion is it could be anything that the user wants to. It could be like a transaction history, it could be a health record, or people have many things in their life, like bank accounts and insurance and all the utilities that they are responsible to pay bills for and all that, right? So this is something like a personal cloud, if you may call it, available at the user fingertips, where they keep including the stuff that they want to be on top of and access it whenever they need it, anytime, anywhere. Right. It's a mobile-first strategy. We're going to have a mobile-based platform. What it introduces is a two-sided market. One side of the market is the consumer themselves, for whom we are building this platform. The other side of the market is the business, right? And how the business is going to be using this platform to grow the customers and engage them in a new and innovative ways, right? So these two, what we're going to be discussing about is an aggregation of all the businesses that, or all the includes that the user might have in their include portfolio. This aggregation platform, what it does is, it's going to solve today's problem. But what we're really trying to do here is to build a strong platform, a foundation for solving some problems in the future, right? And some of the problems are like.
I'm going to stop you there. You've been speaking for several minutes. I have no clue what you're doing, which tells me that this is terrible. So whatever it is that is your vision, hold on. Whatever it is that is your vision, you are completely unable to articulate what the hell you're trying to do.
Yeah, that may be true. It is actually a complex idea that I was just trying to simplify a lot. I think I'm not doing a better job at it. Maybe at this point in time.
And it's essential that you come to something that is really simple and elegant and easy to explain, because right now you've spent many minutes talking and I understood nothing, and I'm a reasonably smart, savvy person, which means that the bulk of the people out there will understand even less. I do this on a daily basis. I'm trained to extract, nuggets out of nebulous presentation, but in your case, I understood absolutely nothing.
Okay. Do you want me to continue, or would you like to do it differently?
But you have to pay a lot of attention to figuring out what is it that you are trying to do, and make an attempt to articulate that succinctly.
Okay. If I ask you to just go back to the previous slide 1 second, maybe I'll try it in 2 sentences right now.
Try a use case. Try a use case. There are methods of explaining things.
Absolutely.
It's a good method.
Absolutely. So the user is actually the center of the world, right? I think that's what we're trying to project here. The user might include their favorite businesses that they want to keep track of, and might include the electricity bills that they want to pay. Right, might include stuff they are, very fond of, like their car. They want to keep, transaction history of when the car servicing happened. Keep records of all the bills and payments and when the battery was changed, and on all those kind of their favorite restaurants. If they want to know what's going on, what offers are being in the restaurant or the stores. What's currently going on in the store. So those are stuff that user could include and create a portfolio sort of in their personal cloud and accessible anytime they want. Please go to the next slide, please. And the two-sided market, the business side market, is there are 4 pain points that we have identified, right? The first pain point that we have targeting is the onset of the e-commerce to the brick and mortar businesses. There is a huge technological gap, right, in terms of what the small businesses and the big e-commerce have is the technology, and the technology disparity is something that we are trying to address with providing a mobile presence for every business, where they could build a simple mobile, flow that users can include them.
You're going to mobilize e-commerce sites, e-commerce merchant sites. Is that what you're trying to say?
It's actually I want to do a relationship-based economy where the actual trade happens in person. So it is kind of like a trailer or a preview that the business is showing to the user, at their fingertips. That I can sit at home, open up and say, what offers are going on, the shop that's in my neighborhood, right?
Are you trying to solve the consumer's problem, or are you trying to solve the e-commerce merchant's problem? Because you just jumped from the user use case to the e-commerce merchant's use case, and I'm completely lost you again.
Okay. The two-sided market, we're going to address the problems on both the sides. This slide is going to talk about the business side of it. The next slide is going to talk about how are we solving the problem of the user side of it, right? But the platform that we are having here, opens up a tremendous new opportunities, right? I'm just trying to highlight each of the opportunities that the platform can potentially play a role in, and try and solve the problems. The first problem area is the business area, which is going to be the revenue model for the company. The first problem is try and create a mobile presence for every store, right, or every business, for example, right? They just don't have to put their entire stock up online. What they're trying to do here is to give current information as to what offers are running in the store right now.
Not how the e-commerce industry is evolving. The e-commerce merchants, the platforms that cater to e-commerce merchants all have mobile, are all mobilizing the stores. So every store, whatever platform they're using, can also have a mobile store available online. So the major platforms like BigCommerce, Shopify, blah, blah, blah,
sure.
They all have mobile versions of their platforms. And
I'm sorry to cut you off there. I was kind of envisioning, shops like a salon or a spa, or a chocolate or a cake guy. It could be any business. It's not like a commodity selling businesses. It could be any store, brick and mortar store owners where they could offer services to their customers, right? So that's
there are products like DoTheMobile, for instance, that mobilize websites. And that's pretty much all you need for stuff like that. For e-commerce, you need more, and the e-commerce merchant platforms are already providing that capability. If it's a question of just mobilizing a website, there are many players doing that already. So that is not a gap in the market. That is not a place where I would recommend you go.
I see. Okay. So here's what I would propose to Ramana. I think my preparation for this is not up to the mark, and I'm kind of like a little bit want to come back maybe later with a better articulation in terms of what we want to be doing. I think I'm kind of maybe all over the place here right now. So I would apologize.
You need to really learn how to present a business, and even how to, your strategy is all over the place. You don't have it sorted out in your head. So when you don't have something sorted out in your head, it is incredibly difficult to pitch something, right? Because You don't have clarity in your head, so how are you going to explain anything clearly to anybody? So the problem is not in your problem is in your strategy.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think there's lots going on in my head. Probably, I didn't come through well. I had a different pitch document. Maybe that was too lengthier with the stories in it, but I think I want to keep it short here. I think I'm a little bit struggling to put a lot of information in these two slides, and I think that's where I'm going wrong. So probably I'll do something different next time.
Bragadish, do not kid yourself. This is your presentation. From what I can tell, is not a question of slides. You don't really know what you're doing. That is the fact.
Okay.
So you need to really dig down and follow a process, follow a framework that allows you to get down to the depth of where. So there is a self-assessment toolkit on our website, the 1M1M self-assessment. Go take your idea and put that through that question, that set of questions, and try to answer those questions, and it will help you clarify your story.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll do that, definitely. Thank you so much for the guidance.
You're welcome. Lisa, would you like to unmute your line and go next?
Hello.
Is that Lisa?
Hi, this is Sumit. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, I can, but Sumit, you need to wait. I'm going to go to Lisa first, if Lisa is ready.
All right. No worries.
Just put your line.
Hello, this is Lisa.
Yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
Hi there. Thank you so much. I apologize for the technical glitch. Thank you so much for allowing me to present my company and what we're doing. I'm excited to share it with everyone. I know we have limited time, so I'll go through this as fast as I can and as clearly as I can. Kibana is a company that's about 5 years old, and it is changing the lives of many people. So looking to the next slide, to give you a little bit of background on myself, I have been in corporate America for many years, and I finally took the step about 5 years ago and became my own business owner. I am a passionate entrepreneur. I have many different diversifications. My passion, though, is in healthcare and health and wellness. So this company spoke with me. Again, it's only 5 years old. We are growing at a rate of about 60% a year. We are debt-free, cash flow positive, and we're looking to grow this business not just through the United States, but to other countries outside of the U.S. So you did ask to share a fun fact. I can actually walk on my hands down my driveway, which is about 20 feet, a talent that many people don't have. But anyway, so where Kibana is different is our product strategy. We're the only company of its kind that is doing what we're doing. So in the pharmaceutical world, where I spent about 10 years of my time, pharmaceutical companies develop their research and compounds either by themselves or now more so develop them using research universities and other clinical sites around the world. They buy and license that chemical compound and bring their medicine to market. If I'm a natural physician and scientist that clearly has years of research in clinical trials, efficacious treatments for any ailment, whether it be blood pressure, cholesterol, or just overall aging prevention, I have nowhere to go with my science. Pharmaceutical companies will not buy it. Why? Because it'll compete with their chemical compounds. So what we are a distribution channel, the only one of its kind that's actually taking these breakthrough scientific medicines and products and bringing them directly to the consumer. So we're the first company to do that. Again, we're 5 years old. Next slide, please. And we're looking for people to help us grow. So these are our partners. They are 4 gentlemen that have been in the direct selling industry for years. One in the middle, or actually a gentleman that's older, he was actually with McKesson Pharmaceuticals for years. So he clearly knows the value of overall health and preventing disease versus just treating it. So the gentleman to his left and right, they've been in the network marketing industry and have achieved $1 billion in sales and sustained it. It's one thing to hit it, but it's more critical to sustain it. So these are the folks that we've partnered with, and they are absolutely renowned in their field, and they are very giving back to the public and making sure that people have overall health. So just a quick snapshot of what we offer. We are the first company that is actually organizing the health and wellness industry. So what I mean by that is we are breaking treatments into systems. So a core system, these are the various systems that the company has. A core system helps with anything from anti-inflammatories, arthritis, et cetera, treatments, to cholesterol, to detoxification of the brain and blood, to allergies naturally. On the right here, Prime is a circulation product, and it helps with cardiovascular health, so blood pressure, any type of circulation, any type of sexual dysfunction, anything like that, blood flow. Metabolic system down in the below is a treatment to actually correct your metabolism. The intent here originally was to correct diabetes type 2. And there's over 35 years of research in that particular system. The one on the very far left is Skin Shift. We just launched that. It's the only system of its kind that is DNA-based. So it's genetic testing to look at where your skin has weaknesses and where it has strengths, and to treat that weakness to fix that weakness. So it's customized skincare, and again, it's the only one that is out there. Everything we have, again, has clinical trials. Everything we have is 100% natural, and we actually submit to the FDA even though we don't have to. So in terms of our customer base is broad, anywhere from 5 years old to 95 years old. Anyone that wants better health, just wants more energy, sleep better, whatever it is, or overall the pain point of America, and I know many people around the world, is prescription medicines. So there are so many pills being pushed, and prescription medicines is the third largest killer in the United States, the side effects. Our company is here to help people reduce their dependency on prescription medicines, as well as prevent the body before it breaks in the first place. So these are just a few.
Have discussions on your business, like how you're going to market, whom are you selling to, what is the, I mean, you seem to have very diverse product lines and very diverse good, customer segments that you're going after. As far as we are concerned, methodology-wise, you are violating every single rule that we follow in building businesses. So,
okay.
So I'd like to understand how you're going to market and kind of give you some guidance on methodology that helps people scale businesses by following, tried and true methods, as opposed to going what we call spray and pray, which is what I'm hearing you're doing.
Well, exactly, and that's what one of my questions is to you, is how do I target the right areas for entrepreneurs that want to get into a vehicle that actually can help themselves grow as well as help people with their health. So I'm not trying to spray and pray. The beginning of this is to just educate what we're doing. In terms of the business model, it is a network marketing model. We currently have 40,000 distributors that, to start off with within our first 5 years. And we're looking to create awareness not only of what we're doing, but also folks that want to be involved. Our customers can be, a general person that wants to feel better with their health or certainly has a disease, but we're also working with physicians, naturopathic physicians, and scientists.
Again, Lisa, you're here to try to recruit entrepreneurs for your network marketing thing. This is not the right forum for that. That's not why.
No, I'm trying to ask how to share this information and how to educate folks on what we're doing.
First and foremost, you need to get a lot more clear on what you're doing and what you're trying to do, what markets you're trying to reach. So let's go back to this slide where you describe 4 completely different markets, right? The skincare market you're talking about, look young forever. Where is this product positioned? Are you talking to, or you're trying to sell this product to women, in the aging skin group for whom this is a concern? And are you trying to create a business around that? And your network marketing may be the implementation strategy, but you still need a positioning for the product. And you said that your products apply to 5-year-olds to 95-year-olds. Well, this is not the way to bring any product to market. You kind of have to position a product.
So the overall product systems are positioned to either tailor, so certain products can tailor to 5-year-olds, certain products can tailor to anti-aging, women, men, et cetera, an example for the skincare. The overall message here
is that if you have this anti-aging product, then you need to take that product and the network marketing offer of that product and create an entrepreneur or whatever network marketeer recruitment strategy for that segment, people who are interested in selling into that segment. For the amount of diversity you have in your product line, you cannot have a generic effort to recruit network marketeers. You're going to have to go product by product. So the places where you're going to go to recruit your aging skincare network marketeers, not the same one where you're going to go to, recruit marketeers for the other types of products. So that's first one of my observations. You need to take each product and create a recruitment strategy for each of them.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful.
And then you can follow other strategies like PR, right? If you want to go in the aging skincare, there are blogs and there are PR opportunities for the aging skincare market. Then you go talk to those editors and writers, and you kind of develop relationships with them and get stories out there so that you generate awareness. But you want to be in a milieu that is interested in that particular problem. Same with your other other kinds of products. You need to do similar strategies to go out there and, get the word out through PR, through guerrilla PR, and see who's interested in working on it. But you have to kind of go float in that milieu around that product.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
All right. Sumit, are you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we'll go to you next.
Thank you.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, hi, and I'm really sorry for the last time the technical glitch that happened. I couldn't come online and things happened. Right. So this is the first time I'm pitching this idea to anyone, and I'm pitching any idea to anyone. So I'm a little nervous too. So please forgive me if I fumble anyway.
You will fumble, and that's all right. It's perfectly okay to fumble.
Right. Thanks. So going forward, just to tell you a little bit of my background. See, I have a more technical and a more research-based background, and I recently, not recently, basically, it's almost like 2 years. I started my own software venture called Ingenuity, which is called like Technically Creative. So I started pursuing this business idea of mine, having an e-commerce or an m-commerce platform for service-based businesses. And if you see, there are a lot of platforms now, and they're very popular, like Flipkart, Snapdeal, and everything, which deal with sellers and manufacturers. But if you talk about the services, and services as in, you can say a time-based services. Suppose I have a music parlor or something, right? So I have no common platform for such services which people can look for. If I have to look for a television to say, I can go to Flipkart, I can go to Snapdeal, I can find a seller. I don't even need to know the seller. I can just go and buy, and it is delivered at my doorstep. But if you talk about a service, I want to take up a private gym session. I need to find a personal tutor or anything like that. So these kind of services do not have a right platform, and they are not able to leverage the potential of internet revolution as such. So that's the kind of business plan I have thought about, and I am working on it on the backend part, because that's where the most of the technology is going into. And
do you have you done research on what's out there that is comparable or competitive or close to what you're thinking about?
Yeah. I have done kind of research. I can say it started with Snapdeal initially started selling services as in tour packages. So they're kind of a service, but they're packaged. So they're sold like products only, but they are inherently services. So that's kind of off. And then there are services like the company like IndiaMart.com, and there people take your orders, make them, and deliver. So they are manufacturers in a way, but they are giving them the service of taking the idea of the product, taking the design, and manufacturing them. But if you come to there are specific markets. Suppose I talk about a tutor. There are platforms where only tutors can pitch in. There are platforms where only gyms, I think gyms do not have one, music parlors don't have one. If you talk about a salon, a hairdresser, I mean a makeup artist, do you think there are any services like that for these kind of people who, if they can go online? I don't think there is one. There's one product that has recently come in.
Your point that there is not one aggregated marketplace, so to speak, for all these service providers is well taken, but I would question your assumption that such a aggregated marketplace is necessary. I think if I were looking for a tutor, I would much rather go to a tutor-only marketplace and try to hire from there, because there would be a lot of depth and domain-specific intelligence in there. So if you look at we both have a book as well as a curriculum module, as well as plenty of writing on the topic of Web 3.0 and e-commerce and the verticalization of the web. You should read up on all that. And
I went through it once. I'm sorry to cut you in between, but I slightly differ with the point of view that the aggregation point of view is not well taken. So I just want to pitch in that, whatever kind of platform that it is there for, even for the domain-specific thing, we have a social media to market it. Well, if you talk about social media as a marketing thing, it is not restricted to any domain. Everyone is coming on the social media to pitch in their business idea in whatever way they can. And the second thing I want to say is that there are markets like justdial.com. I know about it. It is also sort of services. It is also for manufacturer. It is everything. People search for services there and they find them. If we talk about OLX, people have started recruitment on OLX. I mean, I don't know who had this idea, but people are doing this. And in the same way, if we talk about one aggregated model for kind of services, if I want to have this thing done in this particular area, and that web application can not only just find me one, if I can book an appointment there, go there and sort of do it, get my thing done with one of that thing, and that's perfect for me.
You are absolutely free to disagree with me. My job is to give you feedback and pointers.
Thank you.
And so I would like to do my job, and you can do whatever you want with feedback. If you look at what's happening in the doctors market, for example, there are many. We have here in this forum, we have seen many pitches of people trying to do doctors marketplaces. So I am 100% sure that market, the looking for doctors and medical related services, that is going to go into a verticalized web direction for sure. I have no idea what will happen to the hairdresser and makeup artist market. Talking about entertainment, whether it's music parlors, conference halls, banquet halls, maybe there is some sort of a vertical portal around that concept, and you could, instead of trying to do doctors and lawyers and music parlors and banquet halls, you could pick one of these areas. Maybe this entertainment area is something that you're interested in, and you could do a marketplace around that concept. But if you try to do such disparate things, I don't think you will succeed. That's just my impression. There have been marketplaces, like home services, like Angie's List kind of places, or Thumbtack is one of those, like where you can actually hire. I recently used that to do a survey of personal trainers. I was changing personal trainers for and changing our personal training gym. So I was looking for options there. I used Thumbtack to do that search. So there are, but you kind of need to do a very thorough review of what sectors are already verticalizing versus what sectors are still open where it is underserved, and find the gap where it makes sense to go and do a business. What is missing from your concept here is that understanding and of the competitive landscape, right? We are sitting here in 2015 March. A lot of water has flowed under the bridge. The internet has been around now for 20 years, more than 20 years. So a lot of things are already in place. So you cannot pretend that you're just starting with a blank sheet of paper. You have to be aware of what's out there, right? So for example, if you look at service providers in your domain, in IT services or in writing, in Elance, Odesk, freelancer.com, design services, 99 Designs, and so forth, there's a ton of services marketplaces out there. And they're very successful, very advanced marketplaces. So that competitive analysis of the services marketplace, let's call the category services marketplace, and then you look at the different kinds of services and see which are the areas that have developed and who's there in each of those categories, and figure out where there is a gap. Because a blanket service marketplace, the way you're presenting, is not the right strategy at the moment.
All right.
Where we are in the history of this.
Okay. Thank you for the feedback. I would like to also mention that, while I was, conceptualizing this idea, I also got to know that Twitter itself has launched a similar platform, Twitter Services, which focuses almost the same way which I was targeting. But my idea was a little more, in terms of helping the business provider and the customer both. And though the Twitter was only.
That is the concept of a market. When you bring two parties, a producer and a consumer of anything, service, product, anything together, that is the concept of a marketplace, right? eBay is a marketplace, Alibaba is a marketplace, Elance is a marketplace. So that's the concept of a marketplace.
Right. That's right. But I'm talking about Twitter services. And now, if you know about one of the the e-commerce platforms called WooCommerce and the Magento, they have also started bringing in the services as a sector and service payment for the services, time-based services, and so people are going towards that direction. It's not the first, and I'm not the first one there. Twitter as a company, and it's a huge
you're
company.
Not the first one there. That's exactly my point. You're not the first one there, which is why you need to do a very thorough competitive analysis and understand what's happening in the services marketplace in the sector and figure out where there's a gap.
True. I would say that why my product or my idea is a little better than these platforms is because number one, they mess out the ease to the customer approach, and these.
I think you're speaking without knowledge. You need to really go into all of these alternatives, all the competition, and really understand them. They are not necessarily lacking in servicing the customers. Elance is an excellent platform. Odesk is an excellent platform, and there are other quite interesting. The 99 Designs and other design marketplaces are very good platforms. There are a bunch of medical, doctor matching, medical services matching platforms that are very good. So I think what strikes me in your presentation is a certain degree of naivety, and then your questions are what is the right networking opportunity and when do you approach for funding? This is far from ready to be funded. You have a long way to go, a long journey ahead of you that is going to be in a bootstrap mode to get to a certain level of precision of exactly what you are doing, some validation around that concept before you can even approach anybody for funding.
All right. I was very impressed with the Ratmir, and they started the company by themselves, and their funding. There's a totally organic kind of funding initially, as you said. Later on, they diluted in a way. But to say that they still had $5 million at hand. So anyway.
That that kind of putting in $5 million into your own company is not an option for first-time entrepreneurs.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, thank you so much. I mean, it was a really nice opportunity, and it's the first ever presentation. Thank you for making me confident and giving me the suggestions going forward.
No problem. If you fumble with your pitches here, it's no problem. I will just tell you where you need to improve and how you need to improve, and that's, that's the whole point of this platform, is so you can get feedback, you can get guidance, and you can get pointers in how to move forward. And our whole commitment to you is that we want to see you move forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
You're welcome. So, folks, if you like what we're doing here, please refer 1 million by 1 million to serious entrepreneurs. And the word serious is important because we're looking for entrepreneurs who really are committed to building significant businesses, not just, people who have unrealistic ideas that, you can flip something in 3 months and build something in 3 months and flip it in 6 months. This is not how, this is not how it operates. It's not how entrepreneurship happens. Entrepreneurship is a marathon, and you're going to have to sign up for many years of very hard work, huge amounts of uncertainties, huge amounts of roller coaster rides, and that's just the way entrepreneurship works. So our commitment is to work with you and help you through that journey, and we do have a lot of resources and a lot of knowledge and experience here to shepherd you through that journey so that you can travel faster. Especially you're a first-time entrepreneur, the chances of you making a lot of mistakes is very high, and following a blueprint, so to speak, helps you navigate that journey more efficiently. That's what 1 million by 1 million is all about. So everything is at 1mby1m.com. I'll give you a quick summary of the resources that you can use to navigate your journey. We have a very powerful blog, which is free, and it's very, very informative, very, very educative and inspirational. So definitely follow the blog. We also have the Entrepreneur Journeys book series that's available on Amazon and Kindle. We have 12 volumes of the book series, and each of them will, simulate the experience of sitting down and having coffee with 12 to 16, 17, successful entrepreneurs, and you will get insights from them. You will get, you'll have analysis, synthesis from me, and it's just an experience of learning from the masters. That's the whole point of the Entrepreneur Journey series. We use that same principle, by the way, in the 1M1M curriculum as well. It's very much a case study-based curriculum. This is what our website looks like. These roundtables happen every Thursday, pretty much. So we have another March roundtable next week, and then we have 2 weeks off because I'm traveling. I will be in Barcelona for the next 2 roundtables, which we're going to skip, and then we'll come back and resume the full schedule from April. If you want to book your slots to, you can do that at our website, on our website at the free public roundtables link. It's got registration links to attend and to pitch. So you can do either, you can attend or pitch, but definitely the pitch slots fill up. So if you want to pitch, definitely book ahead of time so that we can make sure you have your slot. Then we have the 1M1M Premium program, which is a $1,000 annual membership fee program. We offer you extensive methodology guidance of exactly how to put one foot before the other. We have a very powerful curriculum. We help you with business development. We give you intense strategy consulting in private sessions like these. And we also help you with financing and getting visibility in the media. If you go to our website, the $1 Million Club link gives you exposure to some of the success stories of the program. You'll find an ROI equation of the 1M1M program, which is $375,000 plus 5 to 10% of equity worth of value for just $1,000 annual membership fee and no equity. We are, on purpose, we are making sure that you do not dilute yourselves very early on in the game, and that allows us to take entrepreneurs who are very, very at a very nebulous stage, very early stage, and move them through the process without, taking huge chunks of their equity away. Because we don't really want you to lose 50% of your company to an incubator or an accelerator before you even go out for any kind of financing. It's just not the right way to build companies in our point of view. The one-on-one self-assessment, which I mentioned earlier, I think I recommended one of you to go run your business through this, is one that you will find very helpful in really calibrating where you are, where your gaps are. And if you're in the premium program, we've provided all the curriculum modules that will help you learn how to fill those gaps. This is the site, and you'll have lots of information about the premium program, what to expect from it, video FAQs and so forth, which will help you figure out whether you want to join this program or not. And we teach the program in the curriculum with case studies and video lectures. So you have a whole flexible asynchronous learning capability within the program that you can do at your own time. We have a set of core modules, core curriculum topics: bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, team building, customer acquisition. These are compulsory topics. You have to, if you want to navigate an entrepreneurial journey, you're going to have to learn these topics. And then on the electives, we have different areas where you can build a business: Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, healthcare, IT, online education, etc. We have a new module that we have just recently released called Building Unicorn Companies. That's also an elective module, and then it goes down into different sub-modules within the unicorn topic. Our methodology is lean, capital-efficient, bootstrap startups. This is one thing we have heard from entrepreneur after entrepreneur, including a whole lot of unicorn entrepreneurs, especially if you're a first-time entrepreneur and you cannot really attract capital based on your track record, or do not have capital of your own, as Ratmir did because he had a successful venture before coming into his current venture. The strategy that works for most people is bootstrap first, raise money later. And as a matter of fact, even as a serial entrepreneur, that's what Ratmir did, is basically put in his own money and then brought in investors much later in the game. This is a strategy that a lot of entrepreneurs use, including a lot of serial entrepreneurs are using exactly this strategy. And for a first-time entrepreneur, this may be the only strategy that's going to work, because you're going to have to build your way to some level of validation before investors are even willing to work with you. So that's just the nature of the market today. If you go to the press page on the website, coverage of premium members gives you visibility into what kind of coverage we're able to generate for our members through our media relationships. We also give you full access to all our social media channels. I have 80,000 followers on LinkedIn. So if you want to get your word out through our social media channels, all premium members have access to our social media channels to get the word out. And you're welcome to use those channels. This is our blog. We give you access to publishing on our blog as well. And we have an affiliate program. If you'd like to use the affiliate program, you're welcome to. If you're doing community development, entrepreneurship community development anywhere, you're welcome to use our affiliate program. Upcoming free roundtables, we have one more in March and then 5 more in April. So we have plenty of slots coming up. You should go ahead and book your slot, and we'll be happy to work with you. Vision India 2020 is an ideation book that we published a few years ago. It's written as if we are sitting in 2020 looking back on building on one of these 45 business ideas. And you're welcome to take any of these ideas and execute on them, more of them, steal, borrow, whatever you want to do with it. It is kind of written to stimulate ideas, especially for the emerging markets. It's focused on India, but the ideas apply to a lot of emerging markets. And we have an incubator in a box platform, which we use with a lot of our partners, corporate partners, other kinds of partners who are basically running their own incubation programs on our platform, and we are essentially running it for them. That's the incubator in a box platform. So some of the recent books in the Entrepreneur Journey series are Billion Dollar Unicorns, Carnival in the Cloud, Bootstrapping with a Paycheck, and From E-Commerce to Web 3.0. All of these were released in the last 6-7 months, quite new. And we are now ready for Q&A. If anybody wants to call in and ask questions, you're very welcome to dial in. Just let us know in public chat that you are calling in. Anybody? Carl Osler introduces himself, attending from Roy, Utah, recently completed doctoral in computer science and now looking for possibilities to branch out with an entrepreneurial venture, mostly in service-oriented or consulting in design. So introductions are welcome, folks, like Carl just introduced himself. Anybody who wants to share anything, now is a good time to do that. You can do it in the public chat, or you can call in to the dial-in line. I see Pablo from Galicia in the room. Welcome, Pablo. I believe it's your first roundtable. Anybody? No questions? Nobody calling in? All right, well, let me also introduce you to Irina Patterson, who will be happy to take your questions offline. And you can either email her, Irina at 1mby1m.com, or call her. Her phone number is 786-301-2456. If you have any questions about joining the 1M1M program, she will be happy to step you through it. And let's see, Niranjan Kumar.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Irina.
Yeah, I just said hi. This is Irina. Go ahead, Sharmana.
I just got a private message from Niranjan Kumar. Folks, don't send me private messages. Send your messages to the public chat. So set your chat to send to all participants so everybody in the room can see your questions. So Niranjan, if you're very welcome to ask your question. Just go ahead and set the public chat to send to all participants. Carl was asking for Irina's email. It's Irina at 1mby1m.com, and her phone number is also on the slide.
But please first send an email. Thanks.
Yeah, send her an email first so you can set up a time to talk. Go ahead, Sunil. Please ask your questions. Niranjan, ask your questions. I'll take the questions from the public chat.
Sharmana, if nobody asking questions, I want to remind everybody, and maybe you can explain, we also have an elevator game. What is an elevator game? Maybe you can explain, Sharmana.
Right. So what Irina is referring to, and this may be useful for some of you who are having a really hard time crystallizing your elevator pitch. Elevator pitch is something that you have to have in your pocket at any time. So if you haven't finalized your elevator pitch, we could also have you come here and practice your elevator pitch. We'll give you 5 minutes. You have to get in touch with Maureen and let her know that you want to do an elevator pitch, and we'll give you 5 minutes, and the whole room, as well as myself, we will help you fine-tune your elevator pitch. So we call it an elevator pitch game, and you're welcome to play that. Sunil is asking, we're trying to go for VC funding. We don't know what time is the best time, what is the best way to evaluate the company for funding. So Sunil, let me give you a few steps. First and foremost, go do the 1M1M self-assessment and see how much of that questionnaire, how many of these questions can you answer in a satisfactory way. You're welcome to come and pitch here. I will be able to look at your presentation and give you a read on whether you're ready or not and what else do you need. So those are 2 pointers. I suggest you book a slot to pitch. Anybody else? I think Niranjan had a question. Where are you, Niranjan? So folks, one thing I want to underscore for all of you, and Pablo, you should pay close attention to what I'm saying, is that this is a safe working environment. You don't need to be ultra prepared, or you don't need to be, you know, absolutely polished to present here or to get feedback here or to learn from this forum. You know, if you are in any part of the world where you don't really have access to a Silicon Valley kind of methodology or environment or feedback, you're very welcome to come and just use these sessions to learn both from other people's pitches, the discussions that happen here, as well as by, you know, either pitching your own business or playing the elevator pitch game. There are many ways of engaging with the 1M1M program, and it's a safe working environment. I will give you very direct feedback. Like, you know, you saw that today. If you sat through the whole session, you saw that I give you very direct feedback. But that feedback is not malicious. That feedback is pretty much entirely geared towards helping you move to the next step and the next level of evolution. So I want you to move forward. We all want you to move forward, and that's what this whole program is all about. We are your friends. We are your support network. And we are your support framework, so to speak. If you follow the 1M1M methodology, you will make progress. We know that. We know that from working with entrepreneurs now for many years.
This is Irina. I want to add something else. That nobody should ever feel bad about Shramana's feedback. She gives this feedback because she feels bad about people losing time and wasting time. That's why she gives such direct feedback, not to make you feel bad.
Yeah, I have no desire to make you feel bad, absolutely not. My desire is to make you be successful, and in that process I will give you constructive criticism, and I will give you pointers, and I will give you homework so that you can become successful, because you will have to stand up and defend your pitch and your business idea and your work with a lot of people in this journey. You'll have to convince customers, you'll have to convince investors, you'll have to convince the media. There's all kinds of people whom you're going to have to convince. So my goal is to give you all the ammunition with which you can achieve that level of success.
And I actually want to praise the people who pitched today, regardless what their pitches were, and maybe they were not that well done, but you actually came out and you pitched. There's other people in the room who never came out and who wouldn't even ask a question. They have to make that step just yet.
I fully agree with Irina on that. It's important to pitch. It's important to get feedback. If you hide your little, apartment or your little garage or your little kitchen table where you're noodling ideas and trying to figure out what you're going to do, the chances of you're not making any progress is very high. The more you get out there and get feedback, especially customer feedback, is really important. Okay, folks, we are pretty much at the end of the session. I don't see any other questions, so I will.
I have one more comment, Shramana. We also have entrepreneurs who often say, I'm going to build my minimum viable product, and then I'm going to come and pitch. And that is wrong. Why is that wrong, Shramana?
It's wrong because you often, if you don't do the full framework of figuring out what you're building, why you're building, whom you're building it for, you often build the wrong minimum viable product, and in the process you've burned 6-9 months of your runway. And that we actually believe that you shouldn't build anything until you've really figured out what your business strategy is. And we take you through that whole process, and we recommend that you build after you've finalized what is your business strategy going forward.
And we do that because, yep, go ahead. Yep.
And you've seen the schedule. Please, if you're planning to pitch, wait, did I miss the roundtable roster? Is what I was looking for. Here we go. So April 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, 30th. So 5 roundtables in April, and still 1 more left next week and in March. So please book your slot, and we hope to work with more of you and just make progress. You know, the whole game here is for you to make progress and for us to help you make progress. That's why we're here. Thank you, folks. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.